Pero kung ang pag-uusapan lang pala, dahil wala tayong maibigay na support, kasi ang laki ng hinihingi eh.
Billion, sir?
Almost a billion.
Hindi naman kami humihingi ng yung suporta nga sa kampanya. Hindi po. Yung precinct watchers lang during elections, ang binibigay dyan, pinakamababa na yung 1,000 kada tao, kada precinct watcher.
You heard presidential aspirant Senator Ping Lacson. He is now claiming that Partido Reforma was asking for no less than 800 million pesos allegedly to fund the campaign of local candidates. He says this was the main reason as to why the party ditched him for Vice President Leni Robredo.
But as you have heard from former Speaker Pantaleon Alvarez, he says they made no such request for campaign funds. Instead, they were just letting their then chairman know that the budget for poll watchers during Election Day may cost close to 800 million pesos. Time for today's biggest headlines. I'm Gretchen Ho.
I'm Robbie Alampa. You're watching The Big Story. Let's start with another layer to the story of why Partido Reforma ditched Senator Ping Lacson for Vice President Leni Robredo. The lawmaker is now claiming that the party wants him to shell out 800 million pesos to fund local candidates.
But Alvarez says Lacson must have confused things as the funding would be used for poll watchers come Election Day. Mayan Los Baños with the big story.
Yung isang yung staff niya, nag-email sa akin, ito yung requirement natin pagpasok ng local campaign. Super laki. Sabi ko, we cannot give that kasi wala tayong ganyang pera.
Billion, sir?
Almost a billion. Sabi ko, wala tayong bibigay. Let's tell them the truth.
800 million pesos to be exact. Senator Lacson claims this is the additional funding that Partido Reforma wants for local candidates. Lacson is not buying the party claim that they shifted to Vice President Leni Robredo due to winnability. After all, even the VP is a far second in surveys. But Reforma President Pantaleon Alvarez says Lacson must have just confused things. He says the ex-chairman was just being informed that cost for poll watchers could reach 780 million pesos, at least based on 2019 rates.
Ang binibigay dyan, pinakamababa na yung 1,000 kada tao, kada precinct watcher. Kung wala naman tayong maibibigay dahil tawag ng tawag yung mga kandidato, sabihin na natin sa kanila diretso.
And it looks as though this won't be the last time we will be hearing about this. Lacson says if Alvarez insists on explaining his action, he'll be prompted to respond some more. After all, just like any breakup, it's harder when it's done via text.
Can you tell us more kung paano kayo nag-usap ni Senator Ping?
Text messages lang.
Sir, masakit naman mag-break up ng text lang.
Walang time na pumunta dyan personally. Pupunta ako ng Manila, no? Nandito ako sa probinsya, busy naman ako sa kampanya ng local candidates namin.
But the separation has been weeks in the making, Alvarez tells the chiefs. This as Lacson's campaign failed to get traction even as election day draws near. And while Leni's numbers are not any better, Alvarez says her long shot is still better than Lacson's longer shot. Reporting for News 5, Mayan Los Baños, we are One News.
Now, beyond what Senator Ping Lacson is claiming, what does the endorsement of Partido Reforma mean for the camp of Vice President Leni Robredo? That big question and more with the spokesperson for Vice President Leni Robredo, Barry Gutierrez. Attorney Barry, welcome to The Big Story.
Good evening, Robbie. Good evening, Gretchen. Happy to be here.
Now, Attorney, let's just get one thing out of the way. As far as the side of Vice President Leni Robredo is concerned, what Senator Ping Lacson is saying, this is all about campaign funds. Was campaign funds part of any negotiation or any deal with Partido Reforma?
Well, to begin with, let's be clear. There was no deal. There was no negotiation. We were informed a few days before the event that VP Leni was being invited to go to Tagum, Davao del Norte, and that Partido Reforma would actually declare their endorsement of her. So, malinaw naman si VP Leni dyan, di ba? Kahit na anong endorsement, salamat, basta klaro na walang strings attached to. Hindi to transactional, hindi to kaliwaan. So, definitely, there was no mention much less a negotiation about any supposed 800 million. At sa katotohanan, people's campaign tayo eh. We've been relying on volunteers, we've been relying on the initiative of individual supporters. Wala kaming 800 million pesos to give away. So that was never on the table, that was never part of any consideration.
Okay, now let's get to the endorsement. Despite the endorsement by the party, Senator Ping Lacson, of course, is still running for president. But all of these developments, what does it mean for any potential or any option still for unifying the opposition?
Well, we no longer are pursuing any active efforts to actually talk to any of the other camps. Although may mga tao na from the start, third parties who have been trying to broker some kind of agreement na pwedeng magsama-sama pa. And the VP has always been very clear. Kung usapan lang, willing naman tayo makipag-usap. And let's see where it goes from there. But of course, 45 days left, still an eternity in terms of Philippine politics. Madami pa pwede mangyari. So, tingnan natin. But as far as we're concerned, wala nang active efforts on our end to actually pursue talks directly with any of the other camps.
Okay, Attorney Barry, maraming salamat po. That was the spokesperson for the Office of the Vice President, Attorney Barry Gutierrez. Now, today marks the start of campaign periods for local posts. Let's go to Gretchen for some updates. Gretchen, any last-minute reminders from the COMELEC for local candidates?
Yes, in fact, the COMELEC is reminding bets to still follow minimum health protocols. COMELEC Commissioner George Garcia reminds candidates that they are still responsible for the health and safety of their supporters, even as the poll body loosened some of its restrictions for in-person campaign activities. Now, under Alert Level 2, venue capacity has been raised to 70%, while COMELEC campaign committee permits are no longer required for areas under Alert Levels 1 and 2.
Hindi naman po nangangahulugan na tayo magiging isang super spreader o magkakaroon pa tayo ng super spreader event. Napakahirap po yun. Pag nagkaroon ng isang super spreader event na naandyan kayo, sa inyo po maisisisi yan.
These are the other big stories tonight. As we have reported, the campaign period for local candidates officially kicks off today, Friday. 845 candidates are running unopposed. Meanwhile, the United Nations General Assembly demands an end to the Russian invasion of Ukraine as members call out Moscow for creating a dire humanitarian situation. And the long wait is over. UAAP Season 84 kicks off on Saturday with the epic Battle of Katipunan for its maiden game. These big stories after the break.
You're still watching The Big Story. I'm Robbie Alampay.
And I'm Gretchen Ho. Senatorial aspirant Harry Roque says it's just a matter of time before President Duterte endorses the candidacy of Ferdinand Marcos Jr.
This after presidential aide Bongo and the Marcos camp confirmed that a meeting had transpired between the president and the presidential candidate. Greg Gregorio has this report.
Senator Bongo says 80% of the time it was Duterte talking, giving candidate Marcos his insights on the presidency. Go did not say exactly when the meeting took place, whether it was before or after the ruling party PDP Laban officially announced it was backing Marcos's candidacy.
Walang deklarasyon ang partido through Secretary Pusi in the past na wala pong basbas ng presidente. It could have changed, pero ang Secretary Pusi naman po, hindi yan nagdedesisyon sa kanyang sarili para sa PDP Laban. He always consults the party chair.
The last time Duterte and Marcos met was in September last year before the filing of candidacies. Since then, Duterte has tried to pair his daughter Sara with his trusted Bongo as Sara's VP candidate. The president also belittled Marcos Jr. as unfit and unlike his father. Against her father's wishes, Sara chose to be the running mate of Marcos. Bongo decided to just drop out of the race. This is not the first time Duterte and his daughter have disagreed. In the past, Duterte has given way to Sara's wishes, like the time Sara had her father's key ally Pantaleon Alvarez ousted from the speakership.
Naman na hindi suportahan yung choice ng iyong sariling anak, and if I were to add yung favorite anak ng presidente.
Duterte and BBM have met again. PDP Laban has endorsed BBM. The only thing left is an official anointment. Meanwhile, Congressman Joey Salceda is drumming up support for Rosa, or a Robredo-Sara ticket. Roque has this to say.
Yung mga matron ng kakilala ko, including those na distantly related, mga mayayaman po yan, mga ladies who lunch, no? Talagang karamihan sa kanila Rosa, kasi as a matter of gender, gusto nila na dalawang pinakamataas na pinuno ay babae.
For News 5, Greg Gregorio, we are One News.
Today is the first day of campaigns for local posts. Over in Voterich, Cavite, several candidates kicked off their campaign with a mass.
In Bulacan, meanwhile, the gubernatorial race between two former allies is a hot topic. And for more details on that, we have Mon Gualvez reporting live from Imus, Cavite. Mon, first off, kamustang kampanya dyan sa Voterich, Cavite?
Robbie, Gretchen, the local campaign is now in full swing in the province of Cavite, just like here in Imus, wherein there is an ongoing proclamation rally of some of the local candidates in the area. But what's worth noting here is the province's political landscape, where it's the same old surnames in each town and city.
It's the same families who have been winning elections here in Cavite. Take the case of the Remulias. John Vic Remulla is attempting to win his second term as governor, while his brother, Congressman Boying Remulla, is also a re-electionist for the 7th District.
Political families are actually one. Wala nang laban-laban dito. Nagkasundo na kami. Kaya dito talaga peaceful na ang election sa Cavite.
To kick off their campaign, John Vic and running mate Athena Tolentino went to church where they met with supporters. Over in Bacoor, Team Revilla also started with the mass. Here, incumbent Mayor Lani Mercado Revilla intends to switch posts with Congressman Strike Revilla. Strike does not see any problem if relatives dominate the elections.
Binoboto naman tayo ng tao at kung hindi ka naman nakagawa tingin ko na maganda, mahirapan ka rin manalo.
Senator Bong Revilla also accompanied them in a motorcade. In Imus, meanwhile, the father and son Alex Advincula and AJ Advincula are running for mayor and congressman respectively. As for General Trias, brothers Mayor Oni Ferrer and Congressman John Ferrer will be swapping posts. They are running unopposed. In another vote-rich province, Bulacan, it's a battle between former allies, as incumbent Daniel Fernando faces off with his former Vice Governor Willie Alvarado for the gubernatorial post.
Noong pa man nakahanda naman ako, panahon naman siguro namin.
Kinakailangan merong karanasan, may kakayanan at merong kaalaman.
Robbie, Gretchen, as for the vice gubernatorial race in Bulacan, it will also be a hotly contested battle between a veteran and a so-called newbie, namely former governor of Bulacan, John Mendoza, versus an actor and currently board member of Bulacan, Alex Castro. Robbie, Gretchen.
Maraming salamat. That was Mon Gualvez reporting live from Imus, Cavite. More than 18,000 posts are up for grabs in local elections, but hundreds of those will be more or less filled by unopposed candidates. Tonight's big number is 845. This is the total number of candidates running unopposed according to the Commission on Elections. These candidates will only need one vote to win the elections. A large chunk of those are for the posts of mayor, vice mayor, and city or municipal councilor.
For the big story in sports, the country's premier collegiate league, the UAAP, will begin its 84th season this Saturday. How's the competition stacking up? Find out in my report.
After a 2-year wait, the country's premier collegiate league will open its season starting tomorrow. Although fans are yet to be allowed in the arena, the UAAP schools made sure that the athletes could feel their support through their different virtual send-offs. The 84th season of the UAAP is shaping up to be an exciting edition. UE will be bannering an all-Filipino lineup. The National University, meanwhile, will be banking on their team chemistry. For the Adamson Falcons and the De La Salle Green Archers, they are raring to get a breakthrough with their new talents and new coaches. Meanwhile, the Tamaraws will rely on the core of their baby Tamaraws, who will be debuting in the seniors division. USC, on the other hand, will banner a young rebuilding squad. But all eyes will be on the two favorites for the season, the UP Fighting Maroons and the defending champions, the Ateneo Blue Eagles. The lineup of UP is loaded with talented rookies. Add to that the tried and tested system of Coach Goldwyn Monteverde. Gilas standouts Carl Tamayo and seniors like Richie Rivero are expected to make an immediate impact.
Beautifully run play.
Sobrang laki ng potential ng team na to, especially the rookies. Kasi Carl Tamayo, Jerry Abadiano, sobrang taas ng tingin ko sa kanila. So feel ko they're the future.
For many, though, Ateneo is still the team to beat under Coach Tab Baldwin. Aside from Dave Ildefonso's return to Katipunan, things to watch out for are the performances of Gilas Ash Kwame and SJ Belangel.
Yeah, I want to, do what I can do to help the team and myself to make a great showing for everyone watching. And, like you said, the ultimate goal for sure is to get another championship.
You can catch the UAAP on the UAAP Varsity Channel, One Sports, Signal Play, and the Smart Giga Play app. Gretchen Ho, we are One News.
Time for another quick break. When we return, things are already starting to heat up in the local election scene as incumbent mayors and their opponents kick off their campaign with some form of mudslinging. Meanwhile, 140 members of the United Nations General Assembly are demanding for an end to Russia's war over Ukraine. And tumira ng tres, Pasig City Mayor Vico Sotto wins the praise of some supporters for his epic three-point shot. These and other big stories after the break.
still watching The Big Story. I'm Robbie Alampay.
And I'm Gretchen Ho. The official campaign period for local candidates kicks off on Friday with various proclamation rallies already heating up.
We give you a rundown of the sorties that took place in the major cities of Metro Manila. Marty Bautista with the details.
It's just the first day of the official campaign period for local candidates and things are already heating up. In Quezon City, incumbent Mayor Joy Belmonte made a direct blow to an unnamed candidate.
Yung iba dyan, mas inuna ang pagpapasara sa ABS-CBN. Yan may resibo. Yan ang ipaliwanag mo sa mga tao na habang nasa gitna tayo ng krisis, libo-libong pamilya ang nagtiis at natiis mong mawalan ng trabaho.
Belmonte is running against Congressman Mike Defensor, who voted for the non-renewal of ABS-CBN's franchise. But Defensor has a different take on the matter.
Kongreso ang gumawa nun. At dapat sana, nung speaker yung tatay niya, si Speaker Sonny Belmonte, 2014, when ABS-CBN applied, dapat inapprove na nila that time.
Meanwhile, in Pasig, the atmosphere couldn't be less heated. This as incumbent Mayor Vico Sotto is up against Vice Mayor Io Bernardo for the mayoral post. Before the campaign period, Bernardo had filed a cyber libel case against Sotto.
Nakipagtrabaho naman po tayo sa mga ibang halal ng bayan. Nirerespeto po natin sila at nahirapan po tayo dahil hindi tayo pareho ng prinsipyo sa mga ibang nakaupo.
In Manila, 6 candidates are vying for the local office's highest post. But among them are 2 candidates fighting to be the city's first female mayor. Incumbent Mayor Honey Lacuna relies on her experience.
9 na taon po ako na konsihal, naging 3 taon po akong direktor ng Manila Department of Social Welfare.
While candidate Christy Lim appeals to the public via her maternal instincts.
Kailangan na ng taong bayan, ng mamamayan ng lungsod ng Maynila, ang haplos ng isang ina, ang ang pagkalinga at tamang pag-aaruga sa kanila.
In Caloocan City, meanwhile, the battle is between 2 representatives. Rivals Congressman Along Malapitan, son of incumbent Mayor Oca, and Congressman Egay Erice had both started their campaigns with a mass. The 2 were competing to secure their votes of over 700,000 registered voters in the city. For News 5, Marty Bautista, We Are One News.
The UN General Assembly called for an end to the Russian invasion of Ukraine as members adopted a resolution criticizing Moscow for creating a dire humanitarian situation. The resolution drafted by Ukraine and its allies received 140 votes in favor of it, while 5 countries voted against. That includes Russia, Syria, North Korea, Eritrea, and Belarus. 38 countries abstained. The resolution also demanded aid access and civilian protection in Ukraine. Tumira ng 3. Another video of Vico Sotto making an epic shot from the half-court is going viral.
One supporter of the Pasig mayor re-electionist attempt to bolster his candidate's campaign by posting a video of the epic 3-point shot. Let's watch this.
You can be the king, calm banging on your chest. You can beat the world, you can beat the war. You can talk the God, roll banging on his door. You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock. You can move a mountain.
Sasabayan niya yata yung UAAP bukas.
Oo nga, na-excite nga ako dahil sa UAAP.
Diba? May game
Lalong-lalo na, parang nakamaroon ka yata ngayon.
UP. UP versus Ateneo
Ayan.
tomorrow.
Favorites.
Okay,
Favorites.
the local campaign kicks off today. Ano bang aasahan natin? Na magbabago? Meron bang magbabago? Iingay ba lalo?
Asahan natin. Ikaw, minit mo na yung mga presenter at saka magko-cover ng UAAP. Ano pang mga aasahan natin doon?
Hindi, yung sa local campaign.
Sa local, well, asahan mong bukas, ang daming bubulabog sa'yo paggising mo pa lang sa umaga. Okay. Ang daming kantahan sa kalye.
Well, we're just happy that things are slowly going back to normal, some semblance of normalcy. But a reminder to everybody to please still stay safe and stay healthy. We have good news.
Yes, good news to all Signal subscribers. One News is on free viewing starting March 25 until May 31.
Get the latest news and top stories and follow the comprehensive coverage of the 2022 national and local elections on One News.
You can catch One News on Channel 8. This is again available to all Signal subscribers. If you aren't on yet, subscribe today and enjoy awesome deals.
That's for free, that wraps up today's Big Story. Catch us again on Monday, 8 p.m. on Signal Channels 8 and 250.
Please like our Facebook page, One News. For more in-depth analysis, visit our webpage, onenews.ph. Mask on.
Wash hands.
And stay safe, Philippines. I'm Robbie Alampay.
And I'm Gretchen Ho. We are One News. Have a good weekend.